Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I'm live in San Francisco, California. I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and tonight I am with my co-host Jon Reed in Hollywood, California. What is up, Jon?
What's up? I am so happy that Inhumans will be canceled eventually. It cannot last for more than 3 seasons they're going to give it. I don't know, maybe less. I hope less, but the day that the Inhumans is off the air is a day that I can be whole again.
I feel a little empty inside having to review and recap this. This is not a joy at all.
I feel like Karnak, who I've been like chained up, and then I'm like, nah, I'll just stay. I'll Inhumans, you've imprisoned me in this doom, but I have now chosen my own captives. ABC is my capturer, and I am Karnak.
And they have weed.
Yeah.
If
only I were surrounded by ganja all the time. That would be nice.
I will echo some of the sentiment online, which is crass. Crass warning. He's Cucknack. Yeah. Crying to his weed captors. Oh my God.
That's the tip of the Inhuman iceberg.
Yes. Episode 3, Divide and Conquer, and I don't care who directed or wrote it.
Yeah, somebody made this.
Somebody's responsible for this, and they will be held accountable.
Hopefully.
Jeff Loeb, I blame you, sir.
Yeah, somebody will be held accountable. They'll probably be given a more important movie franchise in a couple of years, knowing Hollywood, because that's how this stuff works. But Inhumans episode 3. What'd you think, Gary?
Well, our hero Maximus has gained control from the villainous Black Bolt, the damn slaver, and his evil wife Medusa, and banished them to Earth where they belong. And now he's trying to get Crystal on his side. And she's coming to the right side, it looks like, anyway. It starts out with our friend, or our villainous Black Bolt, in jail where he belongs.
The evil Black Bolt has been arrested.
Black Bolt has been arrested. And there is a conspiracy to overthrow our hero Maximus.
Yes. There's
from
an evil insurrection from Earth.
From an evil Dr. Declan, who was, I recognize that guy. He's from Lost, right? Was he in Lost?
Sure.
I think he was in Lost.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So maybe he was just on Hawaii and they're all, hey, you're still here.
You still live here, right?
And act in this piece of,
I mean, still lost.
Yeah, are you still lost? Maybe they could have it cross over. It will make a better ending. I don't know. Yeah. Holy crap. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so we're in a Hawaiian prison. This just free access and no phone call monitoring, by the way, because Dr. Declan somehow gets a hold of the biggest, baddest Hawaiian in there and knows about his case file. And they have a full phone conversation, and the cops, because they don't monitor phone calls in jail at all, he sets something up, which it looks like they're going to, give him Black Bolt a blanket party, or give him a shiv, or they're going to put him in general population.
They're putting him in gen pop, which is such a stupid. First of all, they don't even know who this guy is. He doesn't speak to them, right? So their reaction is some mysterious thing happened to you with you against cops. So we don't like you, and therefore we're just gonna throw you into this prison in Gen Pop without trying to figure anything out. And he can't talk. So how did they even get that far? Isn't there a process that would, anyway, this whole thing is just ridiculous.
Well, yeah. Did they not say he's in prison? Okay. For one, you don't go right to prison. There's a thing, right. I guess not an ABC, called due process, I don't know. And you end up in a county jail. So maybe it was a county jail, but they kept referring it to prison. There is a definite difference between a jail and a prison.
Yes.
Believe me, I know. And yeah, there was no due process at all. And then cartoon wardens, I'll show them. This will make them talk. We'll put them in the general population. It's like, okay, he's not a child molester, which, that's what they do to them. Yeah, he's obviously got a handicap. They obviously know that he's some sort of Inhuman, and where in the hell are the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Or, you know, aren't there people monitoring this stuff? He blew over a car, and everybody got it on their cell phones. So I don't know. And then a giant, what they say, cow dog came and teleported him away.
The cow dog. Lockjaw still is the best part of the show. If only they didn't sedate him and cut him out of everything. But
well, just to recap, Medusa, whose power is her hair, they cut it off. Karnak, whose power is strategy, he's lost that because he hit his head.
He had a concussion.
Okay, Gorgon's an idiot in the comics, and he's an idiot in the show. Okay, that's pretty even right there.
Spot on with Gorgon.
Black Bolt, who it's a little frustrating that he doesn't use his powers in the comics, so he's obviously not going to use them in the show. Pray to God he doesn't sneeze and has, you know, what if he goes down? I mean, there's a bunch of flora there. What if he has allergies? I mean, why he's screwed. I don't know, man. And Crystal is locked in her room listening to her Beats headphones.
Yeah. And that music she was listening to was terrible. I mean, of all the things on this show to, I guess, dig in on, this is probably the least offensive. But who sits there and listens to, like, you know, background music from a bad, like, Law and Order show? Like, what was she listening to?
It sounded like she was in American Outfitters, and she got their like mix that they give away for free when you.
It was worse. It was just like tones. It was just like dissonant tones, like over and over again. I don't know. Like and it's so weird. The whole thing is just
on Attilan is so shitty. Really is. They need to pick that up. You know, I am a bit of a music snob. So are you.
I feel like the Inhumans, don't they have like, you know, special musicians? Don't they have like super powered musicians? Dude, essentially?
Yeah, don't they have a guy like whose arms are like fucking record players? You know, like, he's just like DJ man.
DJ man.
I don't know. Oh. Oh, dude. So, you know, with the and also with this huge catalog, Marvel has over 5,000 heroes in their catalog. They decide to make up a new one that's named after an X-Men that they can't use. An X-woman. Mortis, you know? I know it's Mortis in this, and Mortis, who is the half sister of Dazzler or something like that.
Sure, I know a lot of X-Men stuff, but that's a nice pull.
She's really obscure. So yeah, okay. So we've got the Black Bolt in jail, and the whole thing is freaking ridiculous. And it turns out to be, you know, they do these like really 1980s after school special things to try to get to beat him up, and every time they turn around, it's just somebody helping him, and everybody loves Black Bolt. You're like, are you the one to beat up the cops? Yay! You know, and, which is actually realistic. And the big Hawaiian guy ends up, they think they lock him in a cell, and they think he's gonna take him out, and he ends up playing chess with him and telling him that he's there to help, and he's an Inhuman as well.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning.
I like that guy. I actually am kind of looking forward to hopefully seeing the evolution of that character. Like, I'm really sick of how they've just destroyed the royal family. So I feel like there's a little bit of hope in this other guy who has a pretty badass power. I mean, in comparison to a lot of superheroes, and especially Inhumans, the power to basically like turn your hands into like lava and then turn whatever you're touching into like a bomb, essentially, or not even a bomb. It just melts it, right?
Yeah.
Superheats it to the point of maybe exploding or maybe melting or whatever. But that's a pretty substantial power to be playing with.
It is, and it was a likable character. He's just not. Did you see that escape? He wasn't running very fast.
They're like walking through the car yard in the prison. Yeah. Do they have those like garages where people fix up cars in prison?
They do in prison, not in county jail. Okay. They're just holding facilities so people can go to jail or go to prison, or it's for people. If you do a year and under, you stay in county jail. If you do over a year, you end up in prison. At least that's how it is in California. I'm sure it's the same way in Hawaii.
So like you might have a garage in a prison, but you're not going to have it in jail.
No. And the elephant in the room is he could have gotten out whenever he wants. And why did Black Bolt need another guy? Because all he had to go is, you know, and would have blown the door open. So the writing just gets, it's like somebody's trying to fuck this up. And I just totally believe this. It's Perlmutter. It's Perlmutter just going, I don't care. Just keep. I'm sure Perlmutter is the one who wants to keep Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the air against ABC's wishes, and watch this one get, like you said, 3 seasons. If this gets 3 seasons, holy shit, this is just a CEO war, and I'd rather them make a TV show about that.
What I find to be super interesting in all of this that's going on in the background, and we'll get back to this specific episode, because honestly, I'm like hate watching the shit out of this show. Like, I am all about how bad it's gotten so bad at this point for me that I'm enjoying how bad it is. And so like the amazing thing kind of going on in the background with all this is that Disney refuses to just put a straight up good Marvel show on the air. Like, they're like, hey, we've got the Avengers and all these properties. Let's have a show where, you know, people without powers work for the government. And then they're like, okay, well, that show didn't work. So let's take the Inhumans and depower all of everyone's favorite ones and put them in Hawaii. Like, you literally have to work to screw this shit up so badly. But that's exactly what they're doing. And like, the next show is going to be like, hey, let's have a show where people are in the Marvel universe and they're dog walkers, and the dogs have powers and they have to deal with that. Like, they're just coming up with crazy shit now. Like, they could
super
make it
pets.
Yes, super pets.
Now, picture. No.
They could do like a Young Avengers show. They could do they could do so many things, like actual TV shows with actual premises based on actual comics that people actually read. And instead they give us this for some crazy reason. So at this point, I'm like, loving the fact that this is what that Disney's going to give us, and I'm watching it with kind of this masochistic joy. I like, it's just so ridiculous. It's so crazy that this even exists and that this is what they think we want to see, because this is geared toward us. This isn't one of those freeform shows that are geared toward, like, you know, our 14-year-old girl cousins. Like, this is actually a show they think we want to see. And wow, were they wrong?
Think about it. Hollywood for years has been dancing around the core characters. Like with Batman, for Christ's sake. Yes, we've got a lot of Batman movies, but we get a Gotham and we get a Smallville with Supergirl. Like, we don't get the actual thing. We get the things around the thing because they're so protective of the main thing that they actually don't do it. Yep. It's crazy. With so Superman, we've gotten more outside properties than actual Superman.
Smallville was an attempt, at least. Marvel has not given us that.
Do you remember the Superboy TV show? Were you too young?
No, I don't.
There was a Superboy TV show in the late 80s and early 90s. A couple seasons it lasted. And it was a straight up Superboy in Smallville with the Superman costume on. They've tried. Marvel could do, I don't know, an Iron Man TV show. They could do you can do an Iron Man TV show with somebody else playing Iron Man.
Sure. I think the place you start is you do a teen drama, like Runaways is going to be, like The Flash is, like all these shows. Like, you do a teen drama and just be Young Avengers and have it be like, Young Vision and the Hawkeye, Kate from Hawkeye. You just do the Young Avengers, Wiccan, just do that
arc. The arc, the Alan, is it Heinberg who did that? Who wrote that again? The author?
Alan, maybe. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That was so freaking good with Iron Lad and Hulkling.
Yes.
And the Asgardian.
Yeah, the Asgardian.
Which was just a poorly named hero.
Young Kang. I loved Young Kang, who came from the future.
Oh my God. The whole thing was amazing. As a matter of fact, I just pulled that out of my comic collection to reread again. It was so fucking good. Yep. Damn, I cussed. Sorry. Trying to curb on the cussing, ladies and gentlemen.
Is actually like a decent premise if it were like the Inhumans on Attilan, or basically what they're doing with Gifted as a TV show. But instead, it's just this like ridiculous, like, and Hawaii, like, yeah, because we can all relate to life in Hawaii. Like if I'm living in New York, I can be like, oh, that's my daily life, hanging out on the beach in Hawaii. Like, no, like, this isn't anyone's real life. So like if you're gonna ground the Inhumans on Earth somewhere, Hawaii is not exactly the most grounded location to choose. It's utterly ridiculous.
That's like the Dubai Avengers, you know. All riding around in Maseratis and fighting
tuk-tuks,
getting gamblers or whatever. This right here, this is the motion comic. This is a leftover from the Comic Outpost. This is the kind of crap that's just laying around my house. This is Paul Jenkins, Jay Lee. This is the Inhumans. This is the Marvel Knights Inhumans. This was back right after the 90s crash of comics, which actually nowadays doesn't look so bad, to be honest with you. And you know, right around 9/11, when the whole comics scene changed and got, you know, more sophisticated in storytelling, this was one of the first that came out that blew my mind. I mean, there is great storytelling to be had in the Inhumans. It's amazing, but that whole attempt to make it the mutants, which they've backed off on now, thank God, screwed it all up. And this isn't even a cartoon, like right down to the credits, the bad After Effects credits they have going on that I think they paid somebody $100 to do and kind of overpaid with the, you know, it was just, you know, no offense to the guy who made the credits. Okay. I know you did that in like 5 minutes and you're a very talented person, but you probably didn't get paid enough. So, you know, don't mean to bag on you there, pal. And we don't mean to bag on anybody who actually worked on the show. You guys gave it your all. The crew members, makeup, maybe not the person who did the wigs, but you know, the cameraman, you know, no disrespect to you guys. You guys are just doing what you're told to do, you know.
There's production value here. Like you can see that this is a polished TV show. It's not we're not talking about something, you know, like Sharknado, right? Like it's not that level of so bad it's good or anything like that. It's actually just, this show's just so bad it's bad. But you know, it's that there is this effort put in to giving us this ridiculous story. Like it's just utterly ridiculous. So anyway, sorry, I just need to rant a little bit about the fact that,
you have to pick Sharknado? One of our occasional co-hosts actually worked on that film on the first three. Yeah, Chris did.
No, but like Sharknado is one of those shows
that was top notch.
Sharknado knows that it doesn't have the biggest budget to work with, so it figures out a way to be entertaining, and that's what's so great about a thing like Sharknado. This is the opposite. It had enough money to do whatever it really wanted to do, and it could have done anything. I mean, they have Attilan, for God's sakes, and a giant teleporting dog, and instead they give us like this weird Hawaii, like reassembling story. It's just so weird.
I think it is, you know what? I think it just is what it is. I hate that saying, but it is. This is a piece of crap. We're going to make it. We might as well make it in Hawaii and get a vacation out of it. I mean, Adam Sandler admitted to doing this with some of his films, or all of them. Hawaii is where you film detective dramas, reality shows about bounty hunters, Indiana Jones jungle scenes.
Yeah, jungle stuff where you need dinosaurs theoretically.
And forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Right.
You know, it's
rom-coms on honeymoons, right?
It's full of it's for rom-coms.
Now, if Black Bolt and Medusa were on their honeymoon in Hawaii, that would make way more sense than the show they actually ended up giving us.
Absolutely.
This is no honeymoon, people.
Hawaii. I've been there many, many times. I love it. But I don't feel the necessary danger for superheroes. And let's talk about our little rebellious
Maximus
surfers, our militant surfers who just happen to have like AR-15s,
soldier surfers,
AKs, because they get to take that stuff home from the army, you know. And they just meet this hooved guy from outer space who says from the moon, and they're like, cool, and all of a sudden they're just willing to die for him automatically, like, we're soldiers, and you know.
And he's essentially like, actually, guys, you're really outmatched here. I train these guys and they're annoying, but they're pretty good. And the surfers are like, nah, man, we're totally going to help you kill them with our gun. Look at this tattoo. I'm a soldier. We're ready to go. The mission never ends. You know, it's just like, fuck, this is so ridiculous.
And then I'm going to bitch about like the mainlanders coming and taking, you know, I had a king once. So it's like, wait a minute. Didn't you just say you were in the army?
We'll fight for your king. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I can see why you're not in the army anymore, buddy.
That worked.
That worked. And I could definitely see them if they attacked the beach and were gonna like somehow screw up the beach so those guys couldn't surf. That's a believable where they would take up firearms and protect their beach. I totally get that, but
not for this hooved guy. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, Gorgon. It's just that is just, for one, every scene with him in it is just really bad. I can't even get my mind off of him running out into the water going Triton, and the way that was shot, and that was shot with a freaking IMAX camera, and it was like horrible. Oh my god.
Agreed. So the other funny thing about this is they showed the Triton thing in the previously on, but then we didn't get any Triton or mention of Triton at all in the episode. Like, who knows? Does Triton still exist? I mean, we're presuming, like, you have to presume he's dead. Like, did Gorgon just give up and now he's like militarizing on Hawaii? Like, he's like, oh, I guess Triton's gone. I'm gonna get these surfers to stand against the Inhumans coming down to hunt us. Like, why isn't he like trying to find other people at all?
They marketed Triton like he's a main character in this show, and I wonder if they shot a bunch of stuff and they go, man, even they went, ooh, that makeup is not good. Yeah. Let's just have him die in the beginning. I have a feeling we're not going to see him again. I think he's actually dead, which is crazy.
They just keep showing him in previously on every week.
Previously on.
He's gone for like 3 years, but then the show gets canceled after 2, so he just never comes back.
At the very end of the show, you see him swimming back up. Guys, what I missed?
He's like got an army of fish behind him that come out of the water.
The cast of Lost behind him. I found him. Jesus. Oh, I know. God. And then Medusa. So Medusa's running around in her
breaking and entering
6-inch stilettos that are from the shoe store at Attilan. I don't know. I can't think of a shoe store. Where's my wife when I need her? And she demands some money from an ATM, which was not funny at all. And it was really awkward. They see that whole scene. I'm like, oh, don't say it again. Oh God.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, this is like Desperate House. They got the people from Desperate Housewives. They're all, you want to make a superhero show? Sure. Okay. How do you do one? Oh, you guys know how to make a show. Just go. Right. And they didn't do any research at all. It was just freaking awful.
It reminded me of in Star Trek 4 when Scotty, I think, is trying to talk to the mouse. Like they've gone back in time to save whales. Spoiler alert. And he gets in front of like a computer in the 80s or whenever it was. And they've got a little mouse. Maybe it was really nice. And he's got a mouse and he tries to talk into the mouse to get the computer to work because he's used to voice activated computers. Yep. And it was kind of funny in that movie. Like, it was done really well. They were trying to recapture a moment like that, only they did it like they've done everything else extremely half-assed. And so it was just kind of a waste of a few minutes. But then so they have to tell us that she's at the royal estates in the Chiron, where it usually tells you like Hawaii or Attilan. It says the royal estates, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense why she's breaking or entering. So yeah, she shows up at the royal estates because apparently she thinks there are royals there. And she like steals a leather jacket and some clothes
that fit perfectly, by the way.
That fit real fucking well. Oh shit, I did it. I mean, darn.
It's okay. I did it too.
It's this cursing loop I can't get out of. And so she steals a bunch of stuff and then sees the newspaper that has her husband flipping over a cop car, and she decides to go look for him. She sees a Keoki's cab, which is what he got in, which is what Black Bolt got into in the last episode. So I thought we were going to get that cab driver again, but she just kind of shows up at the prison somehow.
Yep. With the stolen cash that rich people kind of do leave cash lying around sometimes. But and she shows up, and Black Bolt, they use a distraction to get out of prison, and like we said before, he has somebody else help him get out, and then Medusa takes this cab to prison, and I guess there's the helicopter landing at the same time, and it's Dr. Declan, right?
Declan, yes.
And okay, so she she has a gun from the fight she had with that girl last episode, right? So she blasts the door open and goes in, and then when Black Bolt's leaving, and it was so stupid ABC TV show where she's like Black Bolt, and he's like in the helicopter, and he no, and then she carjacks Felicity Smoke. I'm just gonna call her Felicity Smoke because I don't know her name, and she's the Felicity Smoke of this episode of this show, and who's I guess dad is gonna build a base on the moon, and that's why they found the Inhumans in the first place, and that's where that ends. But let's go to I wanted to go back. The thing that did the thing I liked, John, was the other Inhumans they introduced.
Yes. Me too.
And I forgot everybody's name except for Mortis. Who was the girl with the flower in her hair?
Yeah, see, I don't know their names,
Flora,
but like
Flora?
Yeah, Flora. The girl who can control the plants. She's in the perfect place because she's in a rainforest.
Yeah, she's like level 5. She's like the girl from Sky High.
Yeah, like she's ready to tear it up, man. Like I'd rather have her than Mortis. Like, I don't know why. I know Maximus really wanted to get Mortis into this fight, but she seems perfectly capable of just destroying everything since she can control the whole island.
And she seems way too nice to be on this evil witch hunt. So what? But if I get back into our hero Maximus has assembled a team to get the villainous Black Bolt, and actually these guys look like good guys. So really, Maximus is the good guy. He really is. Oh, yeah. I mean, some of his methods might kind of suck, but dude, Ned Stark did worse, honestly. And
yeah, he's trying to break up the caste system and make everyone more equal. He's trying to expand so that they have more room to live as a people. Like, I think that, he could go about it in a better way, but yeah, you're right. I think that he's definitely the hero of the story so far.
And Mortis, like, they did this big buildup. Not Mortis. He's death.
Yeah.
And they get to Mortis. He's all, hey guys.
Yeah.
So locked in my room right now. It's so boring. Oh my God. Hey Maximus. How's it going?
I thought Mortis would have better posture.
I know, right? The evil incarnate is a emo teenager. Oh my God, the internet connection is so bad in my prison cell. It's a freaking millennial. That is evil incarnate, to be honest with you.
What did you imagine? Like, I thought Mortis's power was going to be more like mass hysteria, like crowd control type stuff, or like you couldn't be around him without like dying. Like they kept him like all locked up and stuff. I thought it was going to be more than just like Cyclops,
like Blackout, from Ghost Rider, like
right,
it causes decay, like rigor mortis, or causes you to,
yes, correct. But no, he's Cyclops. He's just an angsty Cyclops.
Now, I did like the mask. It's very Kirby-esque. They tried, and then it's stupid leather jackets and black. I'm just so tired of heroes in leather. It's so Singer X-Men. But after I got over the just like, that's not what I was expecting from Mortis, I kind of liked him. I was like, I could kind of roll with this guy if he's kind of funny and just like, okay, hang on, just kills everybody. Where's my latte?
Really want to be there. Yeah, like I'd rather be here than like back in that cell. So I guess I'm cool with it. Yeah, he was definitely the highlight of this episode for sure.
Yeah. And that whole extra crew, and then it started feeling like, and forgive me, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans, I guess there's some out there. It started to feel like a bad Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, which is actually a step up. When those other characters came in, I'm like, okay, it's kind of feeling like a normal TV show. Believe me, I'm being very kind right now. It's not. This thing is a giant turd. But I don't know. There was moments where I
agree. It felt Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit, especially when they were standing outside that hangar when the healing girl was kind of meeting up with her team and they teleported into place. It felt very S.H.I.E.L.D. at that point. The fight the fighting seems Agents of Shield-y. And like, don't get me wrong, there were many Agents of Shield episodes that I enjoyed. There were many arcs that I enjoyed.
Me too.
Overall, though, it just was a disappointing show because it was the first Marvel ABC show, and Whedon was heavily involved, and he was coming back to TV after a long time, so there were lots of expectations definitely for a Buffy fan, also for Marvel fans. So the fact that it was like an okay show was still disappointing. So yes, we get it. There are good things about Agents of Shield, but on the whole, it was not as good as it could have been. And so this is completely on a whole nother level of should not exist on television.
Yeah. I like the Ghost Rider stuff from last season, but I'm not.
You did. See, I didn't love that part.
Bashed Ghost Rider fan. I like everything he's in, so even the bad stuff. And I love the first season. I actually do.
I liked the whole season. I liked the Mockingbird and Hunter stuff a lot.
Yeah, that was good too. There's good in it. I actually own the first season because I consider that an important part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, once they separated from that, that's when I kind of started going in and out. So I can't comment on a lot of it because I didn't watch. So, yeah, but back to Inhumans. Yeah, and then there's Karnak. Karnak bumped his head because he's losing his powers with no explanation. I don't know why you would lose your powers other than maybe but he didn't have head trauma from before, did he? I mean, he bumped his head falling down, but he wouldn't have fallen down.
With his powers, correct. Yeah. Karnak should not have fallen down in the first place. There's no way he could. The only way that anyone's been able to even relegate Karnak from just destroying everybody in a fight is by trapping him psychically in his own brain in like a psychic loop. That's literally the only way we've seen him even remotely relegated, and it only worked for a matter of like 5 or 6 minutes in the comics, which allowed for a few issues to go by because it was drawing out time in that series. But that's literally the only way anyone's been able to really figure out how to get Karnak out of the way during a fight is by psychically doing that. He would never accidentally fall off a hill and hurt himself,
and then get caught by weed farmers. This is a bad joke.
It's seriously bad. This is the worst. This is the most egregious form of inhumanicide that the show has perpetrated. Like, Karnak is maybe the most dynamic, powerful character they have, and they have him talking to weed farmers tied up to a pole and kicking over tables for no reason because his powers are not working. Like, it's just so bad. Anyway. So what do you think though of the relationship he has going on with this girl? Like, is Karnak's storyline going to be that he falls in love with this human and like has an awakening about, the elitist caste system that they have? Is that where this is going, do you think?
That would be an intelligent way to go. So this show's not going to go that way. Karnak, I was just thinking I would watch a show just about Karnak, and you can make it just like him figuring out basically you can make it like House and Sherlock, just like the most insanely impossible situations.
Or Scandal. He's a fixer. Yeah. He's like, he's Ray Donovan. He's a fixer in Hollywood. Yeah. It
feels very Desperate Housewives, that relationship. It was actually one of the better things in the show.
People, is that really who's making this show?
No, I'm not. I'm just picking things out of air.
Oh no, I don't mean. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
Desperate Housewives. It's actually the guy, I'm forgetting his name now, who produced Iron Fist.
Okay.
Yeah, his name is I'm forgetting it because he's not a popular dude right now. But then again, Iron Fist is one of the most viewed things out of the Marvel catalog on Netflix. Yes, so what the fuck do I know? Oh, damn, I just cussed again. Yeah. So, but that whole thing, and then him crying, it's oh God. And then Crystal and Maximus, Maximus is trying to get Crystal to give a speech to the Genetic Council to affirm him as king, basically. And she says yes. And of course, she betrays him and somehow runs away and gets in with her. And she finally uses her GD powers, which she could have used at any time on Maximus, right? Yes. I mean, she could have just taken care of him and the guards like she did, and got to her dog, Black Bolt, which is frankly the only
Lockjaw.
reason we're watching. Lockjaw. Did I just say Lockjaw? And Lockjaw's sedated because that goes right along with cutting Medusa's hair and Black Bolt not having a costume. I mean, I'm way past Black Bolt not even having his mask, because he has the coolest freaking costume, by the way. And they teleport away, and then he gets hit by an ATV, he being Lockjaw, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season, probably.
Yeah, I wonder who the guy is that hit him though. So Crystal's storyline is to me right now fairly compelling. Like, as far as the show is concerned, giving her more screen time and Gorgon less screen time is probably the way to go. I'd like to wait for Medusa to have hair again to get back to what she's up to. So, I like to have Crystal, who's actually like in costume, running around with a giant teleporting dog, using her powers. Like, that's as close to what we could want from this show as you can get. Unfortunately, she's surrounded by everything else that's going on in the show. But I like that they're doing what they're doing with her. Like, at least that's happening, right? So
she's surrounded by this vortex of crap.
Yes.
So there's not much you can do. I like, she's the one who looks the most like the comic version.
Yeah, and she's the actress is actually pretty good. She's making the most of her minutes on the show for sure. So yeah, I'm hoping we get some more of her.
Well, these actors are probably getting their lines like that day. I don't know. And you think Medusa could just make her hair grow? That could be part of her powers. Like, to get hair that long. My wife's hair is a little shorter than hers originally was.
Yes.
And that's taken 3 years. So, yeah.
Right.
So 3 seasons, we'll get her hair back. You ready to wait?
It gets canceled before she can use her powers again.
Oh, my God.
Wow. So the guy who did this was a producer on 6 Feet Under, which is supposed to be
that's a good show.
Yeah. And early Dexter. No. And Dexter at some point. I can't tell you if it was early or not. 2013. So Scott Buck. I don't know about him. We'll have to see what else he does.
I could think of something that rhymes with his last name.
Yeah, we've said it a couple times.
Yeah,
when you're trying not to swear, you realize how much you actually do by accident swear. I have to get better about that, especially if you're around kids. You should, it's hard.
I know I've got kids and I'm terrible.
Yeah, but
and I blame my parents. My dad cussed like a sailor because he was a sailor. So, but you come from a nice family. You're a good boy, John.
Yeah,
I was, I'm crass.
I'm a rebel.
Like
I'm the black sheep. I'm a rebel.
I'm a rebel, Dottie.
So next week on the Inhumans, hopefully we get more Crystal. Crystal meets a stranger that has just accidentally maybe murdered her teleporting dog. We get a weed farmer love story and an armed surfer resistance. So that's where we're going now.
Maybe Karnak smokes a bunch of ganj and like figures out the secrets of the universe. Like,
because weed is medical and it fixes his medical problem.
According to all the people who smoke weed, it's a miracle. It is medical.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you just need some medical marijuana to clear up that concussion he's got. It's all good.
Yeah, man. It's medical. I got a card, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you there at Coachella that one time? Melissa and I sat down at Coachella and the guy's like smoking weed. He's all, I got a card, man. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care what you do.
No, I was literally just thinking, like, what if the next episode is Karnak going into the city to get his marijuana
medical card? That would be more exciting than what the hell they're doing now. Using his strategy, like, where's the closest medical marijuana facility? It's like green lines and little puffs of smoke.
It's like Pokemon Go.
Come in.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Dude, they got to make it like a 70s ABC show where there's like Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. guest stars or
so great.
Oh man.
But anyway, so coming up, we are going to be covering Star Trek Discovery this Sunday and The Gifted. Next week, we also have the season 3 premiere of Mr. Robot, correct? And
yes.
we have the week-long. We'll be watching all the CW superhero shows throughout the week and coming to you on the weekend with the CW superhero roundup. We'll either be recording that Friday or Saturday of next week. So new shows starting up, and we'll still be covering this awesome television show until it goes away.
We'll be live on some of these now. Our live restriction ends tomorrow. Yay!
Yes.
So we'll be back to being a live stream. Also, awesome. I want to thank real quick. John is on occasionally on another podcast. It's a little tiny one called Rob has a podcast and post recaps.
Struggling podcast over there.
Struggling podcast, 25,000 subscribers, maybe more. I don't know. I could be wrong. Rob, I'm going to mess up your last name, buddy, but I'm going to try. Rob Sesternino.
Yeah, there you go. Rob
Thank you, sir. He
from Survivor, Amazon, and All Stars, and rolling over podcasts over there at RHAP. So thanks for having me on and promoting us on your shows. Yeah, man. Big props. Check him out. We'll send him like 2 or 3 people, but no, definitely check him out. He put a plug on and it blew up one of our videos, and I am eternally grateful. Yep. Check out post show recaps. I'll dog sit for you next time. Exactly. I did episode 3 of Star Trek over there, post show recaps, and then I am covering The Gifted with Josh Wigler. We did the premiere. I think we're going to check in a little later in the season. It's not a weekly thing, but just something. And then you can get your weekly Gifted podcasts here on Nerdrotic. So we'll be a show we actually like. All 3 of us. God. Love it. I hope it stays good, but I loved the premiere for sure. Yeah. We also spared our co-host Dennis from this. We don't want to put him through the suffer. He hates the show so freaking much. Yeah. We're just thinking about our friend Dennis. We don't want to do that to him. Dennis is real, man. He can't fake it. If he hates something, he freaking hates it, and that's because we were so positive in this. I know, but no, we were nice compared to what he would have been. So we try to have fun with our hate. So check for more of our views on all this stuff. Check us out at YouTube. Subscribe. It's the Nerdrotic channel on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit the little alerts button. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdroticpodcast. You can find me on Twitter at Jon Reed 16. Gary is our official Twitter feed at Nerdrotics with an S. You can find us on Instagram. We're Nerdrotic on Instagram. And please, if you don't want to have to look at us, which I don't blame you, at least in my case, head on over to iTunes podcast app, hit subscribe on the Nerdrotic podcast there, or on SoundCloud now, correct? Or Podomatic. We're all over the place. We are a little behind on Podomatic, but I'm catching up this weekend. So, yeah. Awesome. And for all your nerd news, every week on Sunday, we record the Nerdrotic News show. That's the original show for Nerdrotic, so it goes back many years. I think we're on episode 110. Where are we? We're on the next one will be 108. Currently 107 is up right now. So we're 108 episodes in. So check out the news show. We have a lot of fun breaking down all of the news of the week that pertains to all of the nerdy and geek news. So anything else before we go, Gary? Honesty without love is cruelty. Love without honesty is cruelty. No, honesty. Well, this is an AA saying. So honesty without love is cruelty. Right. So if you're brutally honest, if you're honest without, I got you. There you go. True. And we might be cruel about this show. I think that's because we love Marvel and we don't want them to see them fuck up. So just look at this as really mean, constructive criticism. That's all. Yes. Scrap the show and do something else. Please make the Karnak show we just pitched for you. You can have it for free. Yes. Or Young Avengers. I would kill to see that on TV. You want to lead us out, Gary? Sure. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Awesome. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. Oh, I can't wait for the next one. Woo-hoo. Oh, yeah. Come back for Star Trek. That's something we like a little more. But come back for Gifted. We love that. So. Oh, hell yeah. Mr. Robot. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye. You have been listening to a Nerdrotic podcast. Please subscribe.